This was the worst presidential election performance since 2008 for the Libertarian Party. I'm not drunk and I'm not high. I don't do that stuff. I get drug tested at my job and I'm okay with that. It's just I kind of started this video awkwardly. But anyway, this was a disaster for the Libertarian Party because the party nominated a guy who had the charisma of a damp cloth, who had the appeal of Ebola-covered frosted flakes. A man who, now some of the criticisms I must say were absolutely nonsense. Oh, he was a Democrat. Well, Donald Trump was a Democrat. So, I mean, that argument doesn't fly because literally Donald Trump's been a Democrat more often than Chase Oliver was. But then you look at the things Chase Oliver said. Like, oh, kids can be trans. No, they can't. I do not trust anyone who says that kids can be trans. Now, I know some of you might be wondering, well, why did you then vote for a candidate who said those things? Well, he has less blood on his hands than Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Now, people might be saying, well, why do you say that? Well, he doesn't support forever wars. He wants to end more wars than Donald Trump ever ended. The thing is, frankly, just that all these people were leaving the Libertarian Party just to shill for Trump, and I thought, well, I'm not going to be part of those people. And look, I disagree with Chase Oliver on abortion. He's pro-abortion, but he supports the Hyde Amendment, which is, the Hyde Amendment's good. It should be permanent. Ross Ulbricht being pardoned should happen. Frankly, I think that some of the charges were, frankly, just a nothing burger. Now, if he really did try to have someone killed, now that I wouldn't pardon him on, but I would definitely say most of it should just be pardoned. He should be pardoned on. On the environment, I agree with them on a free market environmentalist approach. We should end qualified immunity for the police. We should end the death penalty and federal mandatory minimum sentencing. I do support free trade and a balanced budget, as he does, Chase Oliver. We should get rid of the Department of Education. We should have instant runoff voting for all elections in this country. I do agree that the Israeli offensive in Gaza is genocide. And we should be ending foreign aid to Israel and Ukraine. Him on guns, he's right. On healthcare, he's right. On homelessness and immigration, I agree. I don't think we should have open borders, and he's never supported that. I think that we should have an easier understanding of immigration law. It shouldn't take as long as it does to legally come to the United States. But I don't agree with him on letting kids transition. He says he doesn't support gender-affirming surgery for those under 18. I think that transgender health care should not be a thing for children. As for drag shows, I mean, I wouldn't let my kid near a person in drag. It's not that I think that they're going to hurt my kid. I just think they look stupid wearing that stuff. Should they be criminalized? No. As long as they're fully clothed around the kids, then I wouldn't say that person should be shot. But no, I personally just think people in drag look stupid. But yeah, they shouldn't be criminalized. But I wouldn't let my kids near a drag show. We should get rid of the Transportation Security Administration and abolish the Patriot Act and the FISA Amendments Act of 2008. I have to say that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. All these people are like, how could you say that? Look up the definition of a Ponzi scheme and compare it to Social Security, and you tell me how that's not a Ponzi scheme. Ending the war on drugs, I fully agree. Legalizing marijuana, repealing the Controlled Substances Act, and decriminalizing all drugs by passing a Drug Policy Reform Act, I fully agree with that. And because I agree with him on the majority of these stated positions, I voted for him. I think that the Libertarian Party needs to reform itself because the chair of the Libertarian National Committee, Angela McArdle, all but endorsed Donald Trump. She endorsed Chase Oliver but said it was to help Donald Trump. and all these people think that the Libertarian parties or the Libertarian movement is going to gain with the Trump presidency. I feel like it'll set us back. I mean, this party was literally founded because of the problems of a Republican president, Richard Nixon, on Vietnam War, wage and price controls, the draft, and the introduction of fiat money that is not backed by metal, gold, or silver. It was the world's first libertarian party, explicitly a libertarian party. And I think the thing is that people should understand is that I think the Libertarian Party may have spoiled the election for Trump in 2020, and I hope it did. I think parties should not say, oh, we're not spoilers. No, we should lean into it. To me, if he doesn't appoint a Libertarian to the cabinet, Donald Trump, if he doesn't do what he said at the Libertarian National Convention, I think the Libertarian Party should sabotage Republicans down ballot in every way we can. I think trying to be a MAGA-light party is a joke, and I think Libertarians for Trump is a scam. I mean, the Libertarians support free trade, legal immigration, making it easier to legally immigrate to the United States, lowering taxes, abolishing the IRS, paying off the national debt, letting people opt out of Social Security, eliminating the welfare state, reforming the justice system, gun rights, ending the death penalty, supporting LGBT rights, and things like that. The Republican Party and Donald Trump doesn't support any of that. He said he won't touch Social Security, which is one of the biggest things we spend money on by far. And yeah, the national defense budget, he will raise it. He will not cut defense spending. All these people who are saying they're MAGA libertarians. Well, you guys support aid to Israel and Taiwan, and, how is that libertarian when those countries are not our problems? So as far as I am concerned, the thing I think the Libertarian Party needs to do is just kick the Mises Caucus to the curb. They need to reform the Libertarian Party to make sure that it's harder for a faction to take over as easily as they did. I think that what they should do is they should push aggressively for reverting to the old platform and saying, look, this country is having a bit of a love affair with right-wing populism, but it's clearly not working. The country rejected it in 2020 somewhat, and now they've embraced it again. But it didn't work the first time. It won't work the second time. And if all these MAGA people are like, well, I was a libertarian, or I was going to vote libertarian, but the fact you're not siding with President Trump, therefore we're not voting for you, well, those people were not going to vote for you, period. So frankly, I'd say the Libertarian Party did all this help for Trump for nothing. But I do not want Chase Oliver as the Libertarian nominee in 2028. He says he's open to running again, and I think that would be a very, very bad idea. I think that what should happen ultimately is the Libertarian Party just needs to do what the Republicans did in 2024, is aggressively reach out and do podcasts and reach out to the voters, listen to what they're saying, and tell them how libertarianism would benefit their lives. Getting the government off your back, letting you keep more of your paycheck. I'm certain the Libertarian Party could have done much better if it would have actually nominated a candidate that wasn't such a complete and utter joke. Oh, he supports mandatory vaccination. He supports he supported the lockdowns and the mandates and blah blah blah. Well, so did Donald Trump, and yeah, these people voted for him anyway. Now, all these people who told me don't let don't let good be the enemy of perfect. I say the same to them when it came to Chase Oliver. I don't believe he would ever have this if he were somehow elected. I don't think he'd have the support to force parents to let their kids transition. I mean, he said he was against children having physical transitions or the surgical transitions, but I'd say, as far as I'm concerned, it should be more like they shouldn't be allowed to transition, period. I don't trust a 12-year-old to know what they're talking about on their gender. Now, I know some people who might support that would say, well, what about their sexuality then? Well, given that you don't need to mutilate yourself to realize if you're a boy and you like other boys, or a girl and you like other girls, or you like both, I don't think it's the same thing. I'm not saying that transgender people aren't valid or whatever. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm going to do that for another video. I'm going to talk about that in another video, but it is kind of ironic that here are people who couldn't accept themselves for who they biologically are and are going to cosmetically change themselves, even though that doesn't do anything. You have those people in a community with people who said that they are that this is who they are, and that everyone else should accept it. And frankly, I don't get why the word accept is even used when it's like, when I hear the word accept, I'm thinking like, oh, you got glioblastoma, it's terminal, it's inoperable, and you've accepted it. I'd say more like, it's not disqualifying. You don't have a problem. Like if my son was bisexual or gay or whatever, that I don't care. I'd still raise him, treat others how you want to be treated, treat your partners how you want to be treated, and they better treat you how they want to be treated. But all this talk of, oh, this is woke, that's woke. I'm not going to say that Chase Oliver got it right on many things in the campaign. I think refusing to be on podcasts just because you might get grilled on a subject tells me that he didn't believe in himself very much. And if that's the case, why did he bother running? So I think that in the end, I'm just glad the election's over, and I'm glad that he is a former nominee, and I hope the party does better in the future. Hopefully not Chase and not Mises is nominated in 28. Hopefully the Libertarian Party actually embraces the whole spoiler status and saying, look, either you adopt some of our platforms in policy when you're in office, or we will deny you re-election or your party election. We will throw the election. Oh, you could throw it to the Democrats. Well, then you should have done what we said, or you'll have a Democrat in the White House or in control of Congress or whatever. All these people who said that voting Libertarian was voting for Biden, they're stupid. Oh, you voted for Jill Stein, you voted for Trump, you're stupid. That's not how math works. So in the end, I think these people need to understand that if that were the case, if not voting for Trump was a vote for Kamala Harris, then how come he won Wisconsin and Michigan with under 50% of the vote? That wouldn't make sense to me. If not voting for him was a vote for Harris, she would have won Wisconsin and Michigan. She still would have lost the Electoral College, but it would have been a little closer. So that's really all I got to say, and I'll see you guys for the next video.